So, sort of done the big travel trip for Moonlight. Got to New York. Just before I got to New York, I lost my passport. Getting it all processed through. I'm pretty sure we're all good. It's still very nerve wracking because I'm a long, long way from home, and New York's a very huge place and really doesn't care about the individual little ants that scurry all around it. And where I am at the moment is it's not the Lux, the Hilton. It's not the worst place in the world, but it's getting anywhere to a grocery store or anything, a park or whatever. It's not there. It's just a house in the middle of nowhere, like a little like if you like a little leaf climbing on clean onto the side of a building. And a lot of time the neighbours around me they play the music quite loud, not excessively loud, but loud enough when you just want to be rest. You want to be, and you can't go. So you're left on that sense of being slightly on edge all the time. And when you go to the door, or, when you see someone at the door, you say hello. They don't answer back, and you sort of feel a bit like, oh, it's a bit like nervous. But then after a while you realise it's like they're actually afraid of you as you of them, and it's not that they're horrible people, but just like keeping themselves because that's what you do when that's life out here. Um, and I watching this video of this homeless woman being woken up by the cops, and it already hints happily ever after, but it's very, very staged. Except for she's actually quite a good actor, and she's going through scenarios of things that I've actually seen in the last few weeks, and not just seen in the last few weeks, but in life. And people being up with they've got no one to love and no one to be with, and they're out there by themselves. And there is no guardian angels like in these YouTube clips that's going to come along and give them $1,000 or whisk them away from their horrible mood. And I've seen it all like kind of as I've gone through the trip. Like I've had to make sure I've got my resources to get from point A to B. But every once in a while I might have a little bit of change, or there's a dollar in my pocket or whatever, and it's like, what does it cost me to give that? Like it's okay, I miss out on a hot dog or a Coca-Cola or whatever, and it's nothing that big, but it's it's what any of us can actually do. And I think that's like my attitude is that's all really we're expected to do, is just to try a little bit, just to make life on this planet not as crappy as possible for other people. And yeah, because after a while you start to switch off. And the other day, like somebody came up and asked me some money, and I didn't have any, and I felt a little bad for it. And then I sort of like switched off, and now it's like I kind of go, well, actually I don't have to feel bad about it, because throughout the week when I've had money, I have always given it when I can. And you also got to help yourself. But it's a question of when you get a point where you help yourself. If you've got a little bit of extra, give it. Come on, it's not that bloody difficult. Anyway, yeah, it's it's not fun to be in a place where you don't have anyone around you that loves you, and that you've got no support or anybody that actually gives a damn. And I think that's the thing. I look at a lot of these people that are on the street, coping and having these mental health issues, and sounding so goddamn angry, and anger is just fear. It's like they've got they've got no one to talk to. They've got no one to actually. This is all in their heads, and that's the. It's not the poverty. It's not the cold. It's not the hunger. It's just that no one gives a fuck. Um, anyway, and you see a lot of it. I said I've been traveling around, seeing a lot of the United States. There's a two worlds here, where there's some people that live up the top there, and they get to have all these amazing toys, and it's incredible, and it's just like bigger than TV, and then there's a whole bunch of other people who, if they aren't lucky to be born the right parents, or the right born right tracks, or get the right breaks, or they have a misfortune, they can fall so quickly, so far, and there's nothing there to catch them. I think that's the biggest thing that worries me about this new normal, is the lack of empathy. And we went for COVID, and even the people that were like, oh yeah, we stand for resistance and freedom and stuff. I didn't hear anyone talking about the people starving in Africa because they didn't have fucking wage subsidies. I didn't hear anyone talking about the 400 million people that starved during that period. Like, there seems to be in all of this resistance, or whether it's left wing or right wing, it's very tribal, and it's very about looking in your world and making sure and about going for what making sure that your world's okay, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of thought about, hey, how do we make sure that everybody's world's okay? And I don't know the answers. I just do what I do. I find stories that I think need to be exposed. I go out and I put that bit of information actually out there, and that's what I do. I'm not particularly good with my hands. I can't create amazing software programs, or this. I'm good with finding information and sharing information. That's how I've made my way in the world. And I'm very lucky, I think, because I've actually, the thing I am good at and the thing that gives me the greatest passion, I've really pursued it and made sure that it's been as much as close as I can. That I've achieved sustainability. I'm never going to be jagged flying in a 747, but I've managed to find a way to pay and get through in the way of the world and actually get the message out that I think that I want to share. That's my creativity. Um, and I think we should all strive for that creativity. We weren't meant to live just 9 to 5 and go to get jobs and make biomaterial things and be on top of the food chain. And I see this in the United States, that this is very much what the drive is all about. And I've really enjoyed America. I've seen incredible things and the natural beauty of the place and the history. But I get tired. My soul gets tired when I can't walk down to the store and get a cup of tea and bring a pack of tea bags up and pour hot water on my jar. I can't even. You want to get something that's down the local corner. It's all MSG. It's all sugar. It's all fast food processed. None of it is good for you. There's no attempt to provide anything good for you. It's about just shoving stuff in your gob for short-term satisfaction. And then your next step up is your Walmart, which are a little bit more common, and they have a little bit more interesting stuff. Like I've actually largely lived on the Walmarts, because at least I can get milk and a banana and some fresh fruit there, but not a lot. There's no fresh meat, there's no eggs, there's no flour, there's nothing you can bake with. You've got to go to a supermarket for that, and most of the supermarkets are quite some far away, a distance away. And if you don't have a car, and then you don't happen to be living in a place where the public transportation is accessible, and even the public transportation is accessible, it's still going to be a long mission to get to the supermarket. And then you have to come back again, and then the cost goes on top of it. I just find that really bizarre. And I think, again, the fact that you can't actually break bread with your neighbours, and you can't, that's, again, it's like this loneliness that's went through. There's people living here, getting by, but nobody knows their neighbours. Nobody has. It's just bizarre. And then you go, past that, it's like, the idea of, yeah, it's just bizarre. Like, I go to the end of the rubbish today to put some rubbish in there, and everything in that rubbish bag is like what people have been living on this week. And it's like, for some weeks, some people have been eating pizza all week fucking long. I mean, great pizza. Who doesn't love a pizza? Once a month. You go for a run the next day. Throughout the rest of the week, you might have had fish and chips or something. You break it up and you have something different. But along the way, your basic, your vegetables, your fruit, your healthy fats. These people are not getting access to that, and that isn't just affecting their physical health; it's affecting their mental health. So I think that's the hardest thing I've found about the United States of America, is it's just there's a disconnect here that people just don't seem to realise they really are living in the matrix. And I think, Australia went to Australia, and Australia was getting a bit closer, but you could still, go to, off the main street, you could go to the place where there's a local butchery and local supermarket and local shops and so on. And in all parts of Australia, not just the exclusive neighbourhoods. In New Zealand, of course, we have that. We take that for normal, but we're, it's also evaporating. And the food costs here, it's just so like, even I see, it's not just you get the shit food, but then you have to pay for the privilege of being poisoned. And all of this, I just, wow. And then, of course, finally you go to the screen to watch television on the screen, and it's, again, this everything advertised for food. It's all about fast food. It's all processed food, all made to look like It's meant to look healthy because it's got bright colours, but everything just like it's just like glow syntheticness. And then these pharmaceutical adverts come on straight after the fast food fades, telling you what the side effects may be, could include death, diabetes, but not suited for half the population that's not male. That's actually a line I heard come out. And then the other third programs are basic advertising television programs where the gun's the main actor, or it's consumer stuff, and the ads all silly. But yeah, I mean, and we're not far behind, but we're actually, by comparison, we're leaps ahead in quality. But it's like, again, if you would watch, I mention this so often, someone else's country, and then go looking for a current affairs comparison from production quality and balance and all the things that tick the good journalism box, you'd be hard pressed to find anything like that in New Zealand. But we still have a little bit left, but nothing like that in America. Anyway, Christmas is coming up very shortly, and again, I'm not a particularly religious person, but I've always liked Christmas because it's a time to think about family and people that you haven't had a chance to think about because you're too busy to catch up, living life, and chances to restock and redo a self audit of yourself in terms of were the ways that you could have been a much more empathetic or better person, and what are the things in the world that we need. But these are things I actually, I enjoy the party and I enjoy the presents. I don't look at it as a Christian element, but it's something that I actually do really enjoy, and I take seriously in terms of it's not just there to go out and get pissed, and that's what you choose to make it. I choose to make Christmas about actually having a bit of reflection and thinking about those things. And most my mum and dad are no longer passed away, and unfortunately, my family situation's not great, and I'm lucky I've got some really nice friends and so on. But I mean, I must admit, I myself do, find Christmas a bit of a struggle at times. And I know there's a lot of people in my situation which are a lot worse than me. Again, it comes back to that point of loneliness. So, you're thinking out there come Christmas time about what you can do to actually, create a good Christmas present for somebody. Give them your time. Anyway, happy Christmas from the side of America, of the sphere. All going well. I'm actually back in time for Christmas, and it's been an interesting trip, and we've still got another month to go, and we've got one more significant thing to do with the book, and then it's like a little bit like switch off and just kind of enjoy the travel bit, and hopefully I can. But I am looking forward to. I mean, America's been fun, but I'm looking forward to going somewhere where I can have a proper pie that has proper meat in it and proper vegetables and salads and just not having to eat processed crap all the time.